What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Oakland Raiders Connected Careers mode. And I haven't posted a video in this series in a little while, ever since the off season, as I went on vacation shortly thereafter. But I'm back and it's time to get into the preseason. In this video, you're going to see the first two games of the preseason. Next episode will show the last two games of the preseason, and then we'll officially get into season 2 very shortly. I know it's been a little while, but I was on vacation. Obviously videos are going to be hard to put up, and so I'm back home now, and I wanted to give you guys a bunch of preseason gameplay so you can see the new rookies we have and how this team is going to be shaped for season 2 and beyond, as you have some young rookies that are going to get some action in a little bit here. You're going to see right now we have starting receivers Denarius Moore and Rod Streeter, and here's Carson Palmer actually breaking a tackle, and he fumbles the ball. Jared Valdir picks it up and avoids disaster somehow. But I'm going to show a lot of plays in this video, and sometimes I will detract from the gameplay a little bit just to talk about different things with the off season and certain players and my plans for different things. It's not as important to do play-by-play, I think, for the preseason. I just want to give you guys information and let you know what I think you need to know. So anyways, obviously, one of the things you always know with the Raiders is that I've been looking to get a quarterback to replace Carson Palmer. Now, free agency was super bare for really any impactful players at any position, and even quarterback. So we went to the draft, and there wasn't very much for quarterback talent as far as late first and mid-round prospects go. The guy we were looking for, Denny Thompson out of Notre Dame, was a dual-threat quarterback who had about 85 speed. He was a tall, lanky quarterback who could run a spread offense like I kind of want to run, a really wide-open offense. But he changed positions to receiver, and you can't change him back in Madden. So basically, we waited until the 6th round, our final pick of the draft, and we drafted a quarterback by the name of Patrick Papagiannopoulos, and everybody's been wanting to see him since I drafted him. I've showed you guys some practice mode with him, and you will get to see him in this gameplay. But look at what Darren McFadden is doing in the early stages of this game. I've put him on the trading block because I've expressed desire maybe to get a new running back in there. But 5 carries for 78 yards, that is a very impressive start for Darren McFadden. He will be our running back for this upcoming season. And we're back on defense now, and Maurice Jones-Drew fumbles the ball as our run defense picks up right where they left off last year. And another thing that I want to talk about was sliders. I'm not sure if I'm going to be making any edits this season, because I know hot and cold streaks affect so much, and so I'm not sure what I want to touch right now, because so many times last season I would have almost all my front 7 on hot streaks, and it made things really imbalanced, I thought. So I really don't know what I should do yet. I need to give it some more time probably to think it over and see if Blue Ninja's made any tweaks on his slider set over on Operation Sports, because that's basically what mine is. But for now, we're using the same set, and now you're getting to see him. There he is. Big Papa, Patrick Papagiannopoulos, his first NFL game. It's in the preseason. Oh well. He gets 1 yard on this scramble, as he did like what he saw downfield. It's 7-3 in favor of Oakland. And now Big Papa gets the feel of an NFL-style hit as he gets sacked coming off the edge. And now it is 3rd down and 14. And actually, Terrell Pryor's in the game now, and his pass is nearly intercepted. And Pryor's not a guy who I want to like be our starter or anything like that. He's just like a Joe Webb kind of. I don't think of him as a starter, I guess. But Greg Zuerlein, we brought him in to compete with Sebastian Janikowski. He barely misses this 57-yarder. I may mess with my kicking slider, but I kind of like, you know, long field goals in the NFL, they're not exactly rare. But I think that if I want to hit a 55 or beyond that, I should probably need to have about perfect power on my kick meter. I shouldn't be able to do it on command, because field goals in Madden have an automatic for probably ever. But I'm just trying to make it a little more realistic, and 57 is pretty long, but I know Greg can kick it. But we're back on offense now, and Big Papa hooks up with our 1st round draft pick. A guy, I pinned him in as the guy how I wanted for the first pick months ago, like in the early stages of the season. Once I scouted him, I knew I wanted A.J. Ray, and he looked impressive in that practice we had, and now we see him here in the game getting some play in, rather, with Danny Amendola, Patrick Papagiannopoulos, and now Patrick is going to take off, and he gets the 1st down. And oh, about the pronunciation of his last name, I'm not even sure if I'm saying it right. I mean, someone did message me and say how it's supposed to be pronounced, I believe, but obviously he's a fictional character that was created by EA for this game. And from doing a Google search, I'd say it's not exactly the most common last name I've ever seen. But we'll go back into the gameplay now. 2nd and 9. The pitch is out to Chris Ivory. I didn't re-sign Mike Goodson. I wanted to get somebody new, and I got Chris Ivory. I like him a lot from New Orleans. I've seen him play well in real life, and he's just a guy I like, and I wanted him to be kind of our power spell back type of guy. We have Taiwan Jones, who's a pretty fast third down back type of character. But there you can see pop up on the screen, Taiwan Jones has a broken collarbone, which will obviously probably keep him out until the early stages of the regular season. And that makes the role of Chris Ivory even more important on this roster now, being the number 2 running back and probably a third down back if I don't want to keep McFadden out there. But Henny ends up going backwards after like some mix-up there, ran into somebody and kept going backwards, and then Jack Crawford makes it 4th and a mile. And Big Patrick's out there now, throws it to Chris Ivory in the flats, and I'm just trying to give him the ball in space and see if he can run somebody over and truck somebody, because I brought him in kind of to be more of a power style back. I know he's not going to be like a Michael Turner or Steven Jackson, but kind of that mindset, I guess. Maybe a poor man's version of those guys. Or Michael Turner when he was actually good in his prime. But now we see Danny Amendola out there, and we don't want to see these injuries pile up, and especially a guy who's competing with Jacoby Ford to be a slot receiver. Now, one of the reasons I'm having competition with Jacoby Ford is because of his injury issues, and so obviously don't want to replace an injured player with another injured player. But here is Jacoby Ford perhaps getting his leg up in the competition with him and Danny Amendola, getting a nice touchdown pass, going into the end zone and making it 17-6. And we'll talk about Big Papa for a little while now. You can see this strike here to A.J. Ray. He's developing something here in the first half with him, making some very nice throws. And right now, I'd say Carson Palmer's job is safe. Big Papa's ratings are pretty low, and he's still getting development points, and I'm going to have to work on him a little while. But for now, Carson is the quarterback until someone can compete with him, and that's pretty much going to be the way it's going to be. We don't have anybody else on the roster, really. And here's a nice hit on defense. Get another fumble, and this time we recover this one. And we're just playing ferocious defense right now against Jacksonville's backups. 1st and 10 for Big Papa. Back to throw. Wide open. Danny Amendola. And now it's 1-1, I guess, with him and Jacoby Ford. The injury was very minor. Comes out and gets a touchdown. So now him and Jacoby Ford both have one. And we'll be monitoring that competition pretty much all preseason. That's pretty much the main competition we have for a roster spot, or really a main role. I mean, slot receiver is a pretty big role, even if it's someone who plays on the bench and isn't in the base offense. And also, we'll have to worry about Rod Streeter, Janarius Moore, and A.J. Ray. Only 2 of those guys are going to start. Right now, A.J. Ray is looking like a starter, so we'll see how that goes throughout the preseason. It's going to be fun to watch those guys as well. On defense, we have a couple corners to look out for. Harvey Bernard, if I remember his name correctly, and Anthony Knoll, and that's really all the guys who are going to be impactful starters. The rest of the guys are pretty much depth, including Big Papa Giannopoulos, and I just wanted to get him a lot of gameplay, so I put him in as a second quarterback, and I wanted to get him a lot of snaps, because who knows, maybe one day Big Papa will be the future of this franchise. It's very possible he could be the starter one day, especially if I can just play well with him and he's an accurate thrower, and that's really all that really matters. If he plays well in the game and I can do well with him, he's good enough to be a starter probably. So now we're seeing in the 4th quarter, Terrell Pryor getting some playing time, and he's handing the ball off to Chris Ivory. There's some running room for Ivory off tackle. There's a broken tackle. That's what I wanted to see this whole time. Chris Ivory do some tough running. Ended up being 30-13 now. Chad Henne goes down, bring in some pressure off the outside, and Jacksonville really just got dominated in this matchup this first week of the preseason. And you're going to see the stats here. Big Papa with 15 completions on 23 attempts, 195 yards. Very good numbers. 2 touchdowns, no picks. That is extremely impressive for the young rookie. And then running the ball, of course, it was Darren McFadden playing very well, and then not really anything impressive from anybody else. And we also saw A.J. Ray make a couple of nice plays and maybe prove his worth of being a starting receiver. But we'll give him some more time in the preseason. Maybe get him some starting role time if I feel like he's probably deserving. But we'll worry about that probably in the 3rd week of the preseason. But now we'll transition to week 2 of the preseason, and this is the Raiders against the Houston Texans. Obviously a more tough opponent. Matt Schaub underneath is Andre Johnson, runs over Tyvon Branch and gets a first down, 14 yards ahead. And I'm also looking at kind of the preseason as a way to monitor sliders again, because obviously there wasn't like many streaks going on. I don't think there's any streaks in the very beginning, so it was kind of a good clean slate sort of way to look at it. And back on offense, no, hand off to Darren McFadden. He played well last game, but this time Brian Cushing makes him eat the shoulder, and that sets up 2nd and 6. Palmer rolling out and just throws this one away. He hasn't done anything of note in the preseason yet. 3rd and 6, and pass the outside's off the mark, intended for Denarius Moore. So obviously we'll have to look at him if we start losing games in the regular season, and he's not playing well, making inaccurate throws and whatnot. Things a quarterback can't do and start at the same time unless you play for the New York Jets, because Rex Ryan's going to start you anyway. But now we see the Texans are driving down the field. Schaub back to throw, pass the outside. Owen Daniels, he breaks the tackle of Will Hill and goes into the end zone. Will Hill was signed this offseason because he had really good ratings for coverage. But if he tackles like that, he's definitely not going to be a member of the Raiders for much longer. But look at what Run DMC is doing over the course of these first couple of games. I've always thought that these sliders kind of favored the running game a little bit for the user. It made it really hard for the computer. But obviously, I have a really good front seven as far as ratings go, with like Richard Seymour and Tommy Kelly's ratings are really good, although maybe people think he's overrated in real life. Overrated doesn't even matter in Madden. I wish it kind of did. That'd be a really cool feature. 3rd and 17, Palmer, and picked off by Connor Barwin, who's making his voice heard in this early stage of the game. That one was underthrown, intended for Brandon Myers, and Texans take back over, and now we approach the end of the first quarter. And Foster will go outside. There's a nice carry on the outside. That's where he does his best damage, and he gets a first down, and it will lead to a field goal. And now Terrell Pryor in the game getting some playing time. Chris Ivory runs through a tackle, and then his tackle after a short gain of a few. 3rd and 4 now. Pryor in the flats to McFadden. Going to the first down marker, not quite, stopped shy. And so it's Texans ball again. And now we're going to see T.J. Yates, and we're going to see our rookie cornerback, Harvey Bernard, pick off T.J. Yates, and he will get the ball back in the hands of Terrell Pryor in our offense. And one more thing to you guys watching the video, feel free to leave any feedback about my team and who I should be starting over other players, who should win certain position battles. Like, you can talk about the Jacoby Ford or Danny Amendola thing. I'll be looking forward to you guys' feedback. I want to get you guys involved in more ways in my series, and sometimes, like picking certain players over others for positions and starting roles if it's close, something like that, just to give you guys a little bit of control. I think it's kind of fun to do that anyway. I know I've done it before where I've given, actually the only reason I have Danny Amendola is because my fans wanted them. I mean, I saw like 100 comments flow in after I said, who should I sign, guys? And so I'm like, alright, Danny Amendola it is, and I created the controversy at slot receiver. And, I mean, the fan interaction, I think, makes it more fun. So I would like to get you guys involved more often. So I'll be reading your feedback. And look who that is right there. That is Duke Calhoun. Remember him from last year? Made a couple of nice diving grabs, then dropped about 18 other passes that were forgettable at least. And now we see them at the goal line. They're trying to go outside on us. Now Yates is back to throw on 3rd and goal. And wide open is Ben Tate. He will score a touchdown for the Houston Texans as they extend the lead to 17-0, as Terrell Pryor and Carson Palmer have not done much in the passing game. But oh boy, look who's there. It's A.J. Ray, and wow, I knew he'd be good. That's why I picked him, but we'll see where he ends up come week 1 of the regular season. And oh, there's A.J. Ray again. Pass down to the 21-yard line. A timeout is called, and now Pryor back to pass. Throws to the right side. What a catch by Danny Amendola. That one's got to give him. Maybe we should do like a point system. We can call a great play or a touchdown. And, well, it'll be 3-1 now with Danny Amendola doing the exact same route and just getting the football like he needs to do. I love Danny Amendola. It's a great slot receiver. And here you can see, just perfect throw by Terrell Pryor. That'll be 17-7 now going into the second half. Terrell is still in the game. We'll give him 2 quarters of play time and give Big Papa the 4th quarter. And one of the things about the sliders that I haven't messed with yet is the running and like the running back sliders, things that affect the running game, basically. Like, I can do well with Darren McFadden, but you see what I'm doing with Chris Ivory? Absolutely nothing. I'm getting destroyed out there, and so I'm kind of trying to figure it out. Like, is there some sort of bias towards high-rated players in the game or something like that? I mean, sometimes it doesn't always make sense, but that's why you got to feel it out and not really make too many drastic changes. But we'll put in Big Papa now. And he's showing off his ability to take a sack and at least stand up, which is very important. I don't want to see any quarterbacks get injured on my team. 3rd down and long for Big Papa, stepping up, and there he finds Jerron Cryer, the 2nd-year man out of Arizona. And I would say he is a bubble player to make this roster, but he can make it if he makes good plays like that. 2nd and 5, A.J. Ray, and there's his first negative play as he couldn't hang on to that one. Very tough hit. And he took Terrell Owens, number 2. 4th and 5, Papa's going to go for it. Wide open is Amendola. First down, takes the hit. No problem to the Houston 41-yard line. Now 3 receivers with Big Papa will throw again. Dumps it off to Chris Ivory, and he is tackled. That's a beautiful tackle on the play as Ivory was pretty much manhandled on that one. 2nd and 5 coming up. Big Papa will throw again, and under pressure he is sacked. Jonathan Fanene knocks him back for 6 yards, forcing 3rd down and long. Papa, what a catch by Danny Amendola. Look at this game he is putting on right now. He is putting on a show for the fans. And then Big Papa over the middle to David Osbury is incomplete, forcing a 4th and 9. We'll kick a field goal, but get the football back with it being 20-10. And going over the middle to Chris Ivory, and a flag is down now as roughing the quarterback is called. The Texans, they call it on Brooks Reed, who hit Big Papa late. So 2nd down and 10, and Papa goes over the middle. Rod Streeter again. Haven't seen much of him this preseason so far, but of course we're only about halfway through. We'll show a lot more in the 3rd and 4th game, obviously. And here he is again, runs through a defender, he picks up a couple blocks, and inside the 5, almost scores on this play. 30 yards for Rod Streeter. That wasn't just Streeter, that was the whole team chipping in there. 3rd and goal, Papa, touchdown! A.J. Ray, what a play, oh my God! This guy is something special. Look at A.J. Ray. Cut to the inside. I'm pretty sure they had that animation on the Madden 13 trailer before it came out. That is beautiful. A.J. Ray is a beast. And so, the couple of nice highlight plays, the Raiders are back in this one, 20-17. Got to get some stops, though, on defense, and they do. And so, out comes Big Papa, looking for a game-winning preseason drive. 3rd and 7, over the middle, pass is incomplete, intended for, it looks like Jerron Kreiner. So 4th and 7, last chance for Big Papa to keep this game moving. He'll lob it long for A.J. Ray. It's nearly picked off, forced that one. It'll fall incomplete, and the Texans win this game 20-17 as Big Papa gets an earful from Coach Tim Kaine on the sidelines. He's just trying to build him up. He knows he's a good player, wants him to be a starter, trying to build that mental toughness that he's going to need to lead this team to victory in future years. If he is the guy, we'll see if he is the guy ultimately. But A.J. Ray, Danny Amendola, Harvey Bernard, and Big Papa. Great games for all those guys. Let me know in the comment section who you want me to showcase more of in the last 2 games of the preseason. I'm sure you guys really want to see a lot of James Hazard too. I almost forgot about him. Didn't really show any of him, didn't really call his name out or anything, but he is a very high-rated player, especially for where I drafted him. But you'll see some more preseason next time, guys. We'll finish off the preseason next episode, so we're 2 episodes away from the regular season beginning. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later. Remember to leave your feedback below and a like on the video. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching, guys. See you later.